again. Welcome to the Golden Hour and the Manifest to Live Life Golden podcast and YouTube show. I'm Golden Duffy, your host, and we are talking about one of the greatest principles to manifesting what you want. So I'm going to give you a lot of depth in this conversation because this is something that I think can be considered very cliche. It seems very simple. It seems like, really, is that really all I have to do? But it is. And I think this week, actually, I'm recording this ahead of time because my show actually airs on Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to all of you. So because I'm recording this ahead of time, I think it's the perfect time to share journey. It is so much more powerful than you can even imagine. It is absolute magic. I've said before, gratitude is the jet fuel to manifestation. And the reasons why, we're going to uncover that in the next hour. And I'm going to actually give you some really good tools to pull from so that you can get yourself in this state of gratitude whenever you need to, because it will shift energy in front of your eyes like you would not believe. And I know I've shared examples of this before, but I feel really called to do a show about gratitude in general, just to share the energetic output and the vibration of what gratitude is actually doing for you. So the highest vibrations, the highest frequencies in the world are appreciation and love. Gratitude brings appreciation and love together. That's the difference between appreciation and gratitude. Gratitude brings appreciation and love together because when you're being grateful, when you're in a state of gratitude, you're in a state of love. You are loving what you already have. And when you are in that state of loving what you already have, the universe sees this, God, source, whatever you want to call it, and says, let's give her or him more, because they are in love, because they are in gratitude, because they are in the flow of life. They are in the flow of life force. Let's stream more reasons for this person to be more grateful. That's why it's so magical. It also, because of the vibrational frequency of it, because of the conduction of it, it has a very powerful mechanism to take you out of your problems. So anytime you're like hyper focused on your problems, or you're worrying a lot, or you're in that business mode, it has the ability to kick you out of those modes and put you into more of a present state of mind, which is not problem oriented. A present state of mind, think about it. If you are fully present to the here and now, nothing serious is going on, unless like you're in the middle of like a huge chaotic tragic accident or something. If it's just you during the day and you're running around and you're doing your things, if you stop and you become present, which ways that I like to get present are like looking at the sky, or looking at the beauty of nature, or closing my eyes and breathing and going within. When you become fully present, like if somebody's talking to you and instead of thinking about what you're going to say next, which actually has to do with our control dramas last week, if you didn't listen to last week's show, it was really powerful. It was about ending generational cycles. And it was all about our control dramas, like what we do to manipulate the energy based on the way that we grew up and navigated our biological family or whoever raised us. So in the control drama, when you are thinking about what you're going to say next, it has to do with how you want to manipulate energy, or how you want to take the power back from the conversation. When you are fully present to the person and you are really listening, and how often do we do this, right? Like our relationships would be so much better if we did this. And when you do this and you are fully present to the person who's speaking, hearing every word, feeling how they're feeling the energy of what they're feeling, instead of trying to give advice, instead of trying to share a story and one up that person. That's it's a very masculine way of being. When you're trying to give advice and you're trying to get people out of their problems, it's not really listening. And this happens. It happens. As a mom, I think it's probably one of the challengingest things, because we're always, as a parent, trying to fix what our kids come to us for advice and we're always trying to fix it. Instead, if we were to listen, offer some compassion and be truly present, then we wouldn't feel like our relationships were exhausting us or that we're giving unsolicited advice or, like if people aren't asking for your advice, then why are you giving it? Okay. So when we're fully present in conversations, we have the ability to create so much more because we're not dragging the past and we're not dragging the future and we're not trying to one up the person, but we're really, really present. So presence along with gratitude are two of the most powerful energies that you have because the present moment, right? Like this moment right here and now, whatever's happened up until now is old news. It's in the past. Your moment starts right now and right now. So if you can be fully present and show up for that moment, this moment right here and now you have a say in what happens next. Because you're present, because you're not thinking about the past, because you're not worried about the future. You're fully in the present and you can say, what do I want to happen right now? It doesn't matter what happened 5 times before with this person. What do I want to happen right now with us? Where do I want to go from here? And this can happen. You can do this in any situation you're in. If something is really charged, if you're in a really charged experience, like with work or a family or, in a relationship, it can be very challenging to be present because triggers, when we get triggered, right? When we have an emotional outburst, when we have a feeling or emotions that feel beyond our control, those are called triggers. We are coming from the past. Triggers are always rooted in the past. I mean, they could be rooted in fears of the future, but they're rooted in that, they could be about the fears of the future, but they're rooted in the past. The foundation of them is in the past. So in order to find gratitude in those moments, you have to step back. You've got to get out of the energy field of the problem and the engagement of those emotions and energies that are triggering you. A really great thing to say, and we do this in our own family, is I need to process this. I need some time to process this, because if we just, come off of what we're being triggered from, it's not a teaching moment. First of all, we're not going to make any headway because when emotions are high, logic is lost. Remember that. When emotions are high, when they're charged, when they're full of anger or blame or any of that stuff, when emotions are running away, there is no logic. People will say things and do things that they wouldn't normally do because they're charged in a trigger. That's where blind rage actually comes from. I have a show about rage that was actually, I believe it's in season 2. It's back there, but that's a good one to listen to. So, how does gratitude actually lead you to manifestation? Okay. So, if you decide every day that you're going to be in a state of gratitude, no matter what happens, no matter what's in front of you, no matter you spill your coffee, you're late for work, you get stuck in traffic, if you are in a continuous shift of gratitude where you are looking at the situation and you're going, okay, I'm stuck in traffic, but look at that beautiful sky. I spilled my coffee, so now I get to pour a new cup, whatever it is. And I know this sounds very Pollyanna and it sounds really silly, but the truth is it has a very strong conduction in changing the energy field around you. So it's really easy to get caught up in frustration and anger and hurry and rush and desperate and I'm late. It's really easy to get caught up in those things. They are habits for most of us, right? They are patterns that we maybe you wake up with every day, this pattern of being late or rushing or being done. I remember so distinctly, and I have shared this before, but it's so important. I remember distinctly talking to my youngest daughter when she was in elementary school and saying, I don't want to have this like rushed energy in the morning anymore. Let's figure this out. And we sat down. If you have kids, one of the greatest things you can do is just get them communicating, get them talking about how they feel. and tell them how you feel and tell them what you need and come together with solutions. Because if you're just picking on them or yelling at them or demanding that they do things, that's, if they're a strong-willed child, forget about it. There are kids that will fall in line, but for the most part, kids with their own guidance and their own, which they all have their own guidance, just many of them shut it down because their parents wouldn't allow them to listen to it. And a lot of times kids have great advice. And then if they feel like they're part of the solution, they're going to show up for the solution, because you're not just putting a chore chart on the wall and saying you didn't do this, so you don't get, something this week. They're going to feel like they're a part of it. And that's true in every relationship, in every case, to get that communication flowing. So when it comes to gratitude being the strongest conductor for manifestation, the reason, right, we talked about the levels, the reason that gratitude shifts you is because it is not in problem-oriented thinking, and it doesn't take for granted what you have. Anytime you are hyper fixated on a problem, everything else in your life is being taken for granted, right? You're not appreciating it. You're like, this is the problem and I don't like it. And I don't like, where I am. And that's your focus, because you're in that element, which is complaining, feeling victimized, all of that stuff. You're conducting towards all these things that you don't want. So if you had like 10 things in your life and 9 of them were going right and 1 of them was going wrong, and you focused on that one that was going wrong, eventually those 9 would start to go wrong as well. If you had 10 things in your life and 1 was going wrong and you only focused on the 9 that were going right, eventually that 1 would fall into line and things would be good. It doesn't mean that you ignore your problems, but what it means is you don't hyper fixate on them, because the problem and the solution have different energies. So when you're in gratitude, you're not in your problems. When you're in gratitude, you're telling the universe, source, I am so grateful, send me more. I am always going to notice what I have. I am always going to be grateful, and I'm going to appreciate what I have, so that I'm not disrespecting what already has been given to me. Listen, if you have a roof over your head, if you have food in your refrigerator, if you have a car with gas in it, if you've got family around you to love, if you've got information that allows you to expand and grow every day. I mean, there's so many things that we have to be grateful for. If you have nature around you, even if you live in the city, there's always places you can go where there's nature, to take in the air outside, to take in the plants and the animals and the forest and the birds. All of those things are here for us. And nature is one of those things that is such a powerful conductor in getting us to get back into our powerful state of well-being. I shared a while ago about the earthing movie. Getting your feet on the ground is so powerful. And I have noticed, I actually did this on Saturday. My daughter and I went down to Laguna for the day. We had such a great day. We went to the farmer's market and we went to lunch, and then there was a huge volleyball tournament going on the beach. So we went and we sat and we watched for a little while, and we put our feet in the sand. And I remember sitting there, and Saturday I did not require a nap, which is really interesting because I do mostly require naps. I did sleep in a little. I think I slept till 6 that day. But what I noticed is when I'm out and about in nature, and when I'm like, have my feet on the ground, I don't have any pain in my body. It's amazing. I don't have any tension in my body. And B, I'm not tired. I don't get tired, because those charges that you're getting from the earth actually give you energy. So if you're feeling really depleted, look at what you're doing every day. For me, it's like being in the house on the computer definitely exhausts me. Being in the house too much in general can be very exhausting. So get outside, go for a walk, get some fresh air, get some nature on you, and in you and around you, because that is the fuel that's going to actually cause you to tune into something else. Also when we're walking in nature, as long as you're not like in your head, in your to-do list, which many of us do, as long as you are really noticing and really quieting your mind. I do this. I actually, if I catch myself in a thought pattern of like a to-do list when I'm out going for a walk, I'll just breathe here. Just breathe. Just breathe. Just be here now. I just bring myself back because it's so important for us to take a stand, to really understand that we are in charge of our vibrational output. And that vibrational output is everything. It's everything. And that's why I'm a huge component of getting deep with yourself, getting down to those emotions that you may feel triggered with, asking yourself the questions: where did this come from? How do I heal this? Allow me to let go of it, allow it to release. And I do, our release things at the end of the show to help you with that. So one of the greatest things you can do in your relationships and with people is to make a list of what you are grateful for about them. See, this is the thing about relationships. We're always trying to fix people, and we're always trying to change people to fit into the little box that we think they should be in, right? Like, especially with our kids, we think they should be on a certain path and they should do a certain thing with their life. And because of that, we defy what their mission is, what their fulfillment is, and we don't allow them to really truly shine and be who they are. Most people in our lives. If you really want to have good relationships, start focusing on what you love about someone, about what you feel good about them, about what they do right. They do some things right. They really do. They have gifts. They have talents. You can, think about just good memories with them, bring up some good memories with them. I used to, with my kids all the time, look at their baby pictures or look at when they were like 3 years old, because they were so cute and so sweet and so innocent at 3 years old. And they were like, they were all mine, right? Look at pictures like that. Not if they make you sad. If you're empty nested, that might make you sad. But if you're having a hard time with your teenager, look at those pictures, because those pictures are going to tune you into and remind you of who these little buggers really are, who they are, like really and truly. Because when they were at their sweetest, that's really who they are. Not at this time when there's emotional turmoil and hormones and all of that stuff going on. So if you really want to get into better relationships, the best thing you can do is to make lists of their positive aspects, the things about them that you truly love. And if you have to, do it once a day, do it twice a day, do it in the morning and do it at night, because this is going to tune you into a different frequency with them. So you're going to actually be on a different plane with them than you were before. And you can do this with all of your family members before Thanksgiving dinner. It's a really, really good idea. As we get together with family, it's important to remember that, first of all, I know there's a lot of obligation going on. So a lot of you are going to holidays and you're visiting with people that you probably don't see for most of the year, and you probably only hang out with on the holidays. I know that was mostly our situation with family, even though we really do enjoy being with our family. But that was, for the most part, we really didn't talk too much during the year, but we always saw each other on holidays, which I found so interesting. It's like, you just do it because it's like the social norm and it's what you've always been doing. So if you're doing that and there's a lot of obligation, and maybe you're not like excited to hang out with these people, you're just going because you're supposed to, or because your mom told you to, or because, it's your husband's family and you got to keep the peace. If you're doing that, remember what signal you're sending to that experience. So take yourself back for a minute, take a deep breath and say, what am I sending to this? Am I sending dread? Am I sending, oh, this is so obligatory and I don't really want to go? Are you in huge resistance to it? If you're doing all those things, you're actually better off not going, because you're just sending a bunch of yucky energy to their holiday, to their experience, to their house, wherever you're going. And that's not good. If you are hosting the holidays, there is a way that you can be super grateful. First of all, we always had everybody bring stuff. So if you're doing it all yourself and you're trying to be a martyr, I would highly suggest you stop doing that unless you really love it. Unless you truly love it. I have my nephew. He's kind of our cousin, but we call him a nephew because we're really super close to him. He is actually taking over the turkey this year. So that's going to be interesting. My husband said, "Are you going to have a backup turkey?" I'm like, no, I'm going to trust him. I'm going to trust that he's going to do it and it's going to be fantastic. And I'm really excited that I don't have to do the turkey for once. This is probably the first time I'm not making a turkey in a really long time. So at least 10 years since we've been to California. But before that, we did do holidays. We did do Thanksgiving at our cousin's house, and we always hosted Christmas with like 40 people. So if you're doing that sort of a thing, it's super duper easy to get overwhelmed, really easy to get overwhelmed, get stressed, get cranky. I used to be a maniac before the family came over, cleaning and cooking. And, the biggest thing, I was thinking about this the other day, like the biggest thing that was underneath all that was the fear of judgment, the fear that my house wouldn't be perfect or the food wouldn't be perfect or something. So if you can get yourself out of that, like not worrying about what people think, you can still clean your house. It feels good to clean a house, honestly, but you don't have to get so caught up in the judgment and all of the things, right? You can actually come from a place of gratitude, like, wow, we have family coming over. We are able to host this. We have money to buy food, and we have a beautiful home to present this in. And, there's ways that you can really, no matter what you're doing this holiday season, there are ways for you to up level it in a way that it feels good, that it feels great. And that would be my advice there. Yeah. Because being grateful for what you have ensures that you will have more. It's an energy flow, it's a conduction, and it will always pay off for you. When you are, so hyper focused on what's wrong, on who's not doing what, I mean, think about it. What are you doing? What signal are you sending when you're in disappointment, or when you're in disagreement, or when, please don't talk politics this holiday season. Just shut it down. You're allowed to shut conversations down, especially if it's your own home. If you think that they're going to turn into some major turmoil, it is completely 1000% your permission to do that. So let's get back to gratitude. Okay, so being grateful is a super high vibration, and it puts the energy all around you that is magical. And the reason why gratitude is so magical is because of the elevation of your frequency when you are grateful. There's an elevation in your frequency. So you leave all the what I should have done, what I could have done, what I didn't do. You leave all that past stuff behind. And gratitude has nothing to do with the shitty committee. It actually shuts the door on the shitty committee and allows you to get away from it, so that you no longer have to conduct from disrespect and the devalue of yourself by listening to that hypercritic. You can just be grateful. You can stand in the moment of gratitude for yourself. So here's a great exercise you can do. If you are in a moment of struggle and you're not feeling great, the best thing that you can do is go back to a memory. Yes, I'm telling you to go back to the past, but this isn't in a good way. Go back to the memory that evoked a grateful feeling or a feeling of awe. So it could be like when one of your kids was born. It could be when you got married. It could be when you hit a home run when you were younger. It could be when you aced a test. All these different ways that you felt really good and you felt accomplished, or you felt truly in awe of life. So take yourself back there just for a few minutes, close your eyes, see it, and allow your body to evoke those feelings again. And hopefully they're not shadowed by any kind of sadness. This is literally like you're going full steam ahead on a positive memory that evokes really good feelings within you. Once you do that, once you evoke those really good feelings of awe or gratitude or success or whatever it is that you are feeling, now you're in a vibrational energy that is going to be very susceptible to the gratitude that you want to feel for the present moment, for the gratitude you want to feel for your life. If you really want to jet fuel your day, start it out with some gratitude. I know it seems silly and simple, but the truth is, if you start mapping out, okay, I literally do this when I lay in bed in the morning. I think about how grateful I am. I'm so grateful for my husband. I'm so grateful for my kids. And I lay there and I'm just like, thank you, because I have those few moments before I jump out of bed in the morning. Those few moments are mine, and they're mine between me and God, source, whatever you want to call it. That's my moment to set my vibration for the day. Now, I don't do it to get somewhere. I do it first of all, now it's a habit, but I do it to literally come up out of bed in a state that allows me to fuel my day with that kind of energy, like gratitude across the board, gratitude everywhere, right? Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to stay that way. Things are going to happen. You're going to talk to people. You're going to bump up against people. You're going to, possibly be late for work, or like I said, get stuck in traffic or spill your coffee, or, things are going to happen. But if you're in that state of gratitude, it's going to be more accessible for you. You're going to be able to grab from it much more easily than if you were not in that state, if you were in a problem state. Everything's going to bother you more if you don't start your day out that way. So, you just wake up and you're in a bad mood, and then everything bothers you, and then your whole day is a great big bother, right? We have more power than this. We have the ability to exercise power from the second we open our eyes in the morning. And if you can do it before you go to sleep at night, that just paves the way. 7 to 8 hours of waking up, ensuring that you're going to feel good, ensuring that the first few thoughts you have in the day are high quality. So think about that. How often in your day are you accessing thoughts that are of a high quality? That you're accessing thoughts that actually make you feel good, that actually induce some kind of good feeling in you, some kind of love, some kind of inspiration. My husband and I, just about every day at 11:11 or 1:11, if we catch those two numbers, we always text, I love you, or I'm crazy about you, or something to connect to during the day. Because a lot of times we'll go through our day and we don't talk until he gets home. So it's a way for us to connect and go, I'm loved. Like, that feels so good to be loved. And if you're not in that loving relationship, then it's giving that love in other ways, to other things, to other experiences, so that you can surround yourself in a vibration of love. So you can surround yourself in a vibration of gratitude and everything that will fuel your journey to more. So if you've been with me for a while, let's decide how we're going to celebrate life and how life is going to change based on what we are deciding in each moment. So how can I love this moment more? How can I love the people around me more? Gratitude is something that allows us to be in unconditional love. And the reason for that is, when you are in gratitude, you aren't looking at conditions that don't please you. You're actually in a state of energy that allows you to be like fueling that jet fuel, sending that jet fuel to the manifestations of everything you desire. I've always read about being grateful ahead of time. So if you're grateful for something before it even happens, you're training your subconscious mind to basically say it's already done. So then there's no resistant energy. There's nothing that's going to slow it down or hold it back, because you are literally sending that jet fuel of, I'm already thankful and grateful. I'm already in alignment with it, because I'm already becoming the person who already has super powerful. That's identity creation, like amazing ways in which you become the person that you say you most want to be. So being grateful for something before it even happens in the physical body, in the physical energy manifestation, allows you to actually send the signal, send the energy, connect with the alignment of it, connect with the timeline of it, if you will. And that actually speeds up manifestation because you're already in the energy of having it. I shared before I got my car that I really wanted. I wanted a Mercedes for a really, really long time, probably 10 years before I actually got one. And I would stand, and I remember thinking, I have to actually become this person. Like I have to create from the identity. So I would see the keys in my hand and I would be super grateful that I already had the car, that I was about to go sit in the car. And once I started doing exercises like that, which I actually got from Fred Dodson's Parallel Universe of Self, once I started doing exercises like that, my car, I ended up manifesting that car within 2 weeks. It was like so amazing because I felt like I had been working on it for so long. And I started making these like really big leaps of aha moments where I was understanding how energy works and I was becoming super grateful. I wasn't in this like, oh, I can't do it. And I feel like I owe too much on my other car. And I didn't have all that resistance energy anymore. I just shifted. And when you shift, you change timelines. So you actually put yourself in the timeline that's going to experience that. And that's what gratitude does. It allows you to do that. You know, we have choices. The choices that we have, we can choose to be miserable or we can choose to be grateful, right? And when it comes to anything, like take this for example, if you are a parent and your child doesn't live near you, right? I have this experience and I can waste a lot of time and energy missing her. And I can be really sad about that. And I've created a lot of misery around holidays and stuff when we're not all together. Been there, done that. None of that has served me. So I made a decision a long time ago that I would just be grateful that she's in my life, that she's that I can go visit her, that we can have these incredible trips together, that we can have this incredible quality time together. Yes, we can't see each other on a daily basis. We do talk on a daily basis. Daughter that live only one state away. I'm actually getting to see them a lot more these days because I don't sit in the element of missing. I don't sit in the element of sadness, of resisting what's happening. If your child has moved away and you're resisting the fact that they moved away, you are wasting so much of your energy. And you're probably putting a lot of guilt and whatnot on them, which also doesn't help the relationship. So especially if you're newly empty nested, and all of a sudden all your kids are gone and you're feeling that sadness, you gotta process that. You gotta grieve through it so it doesn't get stuck inside of you. But then once you do that, it's about making a solid decision of not living in a poor me state, of not living in victimhood, but instead being like, okay, this is my next chapter. I actually am really grateful that I have some extra time to spend on myself. Really grateful that I have time to spend with my younger two, like just to focus on them and pay attention to them. It's been really, really awesome. And it has improved our relationships so much that they have had my undivided attention here in the present state. So look at that and start looking for the gifts that come from maybe not necessarily living in the same state or living across the country. It's a choice. It's everything that we're doing is a choice. I can either be grateful or I can be miserable. That's a really good question, right? Or I can just feel okay. And if you just feel okay, like meh, if you just feel meh, not a huge conduction there. There really isn't. So find something to be excited about. Find something to be passionate about. Because if you're just okay, right? Meh, you're not really living your life to a potential that allows you to feel joy, to feel excitement, to feel gratitude, to feel passion, to feel love. And those are the oh, those are the energies, the frequencies that allow us to really feel like, yes, life is going well. And you know what? It's not all the time. It doesn't have to be all the time. But if you don't have anything to be passionate about, if you don't have anything to be excited about, if you don't have anything to be grateful or joyful about, it's time to start creating those things. It's time to start carving out that time to create, to enjoy, to appreciate, to love. I mean, we always have the outdoors. I don't care what your weather is. I don't care what your season is. We always have the beauty of nature. I mean, some of the most beautiful and peaceful moments of my life, believe it or not, because I moved away from it and I always say I don't need it ever again, are right after a snowstorm. Like, all of the sound in the air is absorbed into the snow. So it's so peaceful and it's so quiet. And I remember that. I can bring myself back to that moment. And now, now I have landscapes of beaches and sunny skies and all of that. So you always have the opportunity to step out into nature and to get yourself out of that monkey mind, out of the business mode, and into the real awe of life. The real awe of life. I put up a post this morning about signs. We're getting signs all the time. I've shared this before. Wildlife, nature, numbers, synchronicities, really cool synchronicities or opportunities when you bump into somebody or you're thinking of someone and they call you. These are really cool ways for you to know how powerful you are and to know that there's something beyond this. There is something beyond what we can see. And knowing that, that's where faith comes from. It's believing in things that are unseen. It's having that knowing deep in your heart that you are loved, that you are supported, that you are part of this stream of consciousness that allows you to have a connection to infinite intelligence. Because you have a connection to infinite intelligence, you have the ability to know many things and to figure many things out. So if you can get yourself out of anxiety, that will make things easier for you to learn, for sure. But gratitude is one of those things that it's like a huge yes signal to the universe to bring you more things like it, more things that I love, more things that I can appreciate. Think about it. If you're not appreciating what you have, why would the universe give you more? There's been many times where, like, especially with my car, I remember feeling like I need to appreciate the car I have. So I took really good care of it. I cleaned it. I washed it all the time. I kept it in really good shape. I loved it. And when I drove, I didn't think bad things. I mean, think about the signal you're sending to things, right? Take care of the things that you already have and you will have more. It's an energy. It's an absolute energy. If you are disrespecting, devaluing, depreciating all the things that are around you, your gifts, your talents, the people that are in your life, that's not a good conduction. If you want things to keep going well, you have to appreciate them. You have to respect them. You have to be in love with them. And when you do, you will see a powerful shift in the experience that you have. That's one of the biggest things that actually messes with people's manifestation journeys is resistance. So it's being in resistance to what's happening, right? Because when you're in resistance, you can't be in gratitude. So when you're fighting against it, when you're bitching about it, when you're complaining about it, you can't be in gratitude. So then the energy starts to slow way down because you're in resistance to it. And then it's being confused, right? Being in the problem, being confused, not knowing what to do, being indecisive. That's the second thing that causes a really slow conduction in your manifestation journey. And then number 3 is when you get to the point where you are super stressed and very tense. Think about it. When you are stressed and tense, you hold a lot of energy in your body, a lot of dense energy, a lot of fighting energy, a lot of tension. Like tension is like all your muscles are getting really tense and hard, right? And then you get an overstimulation of the monkey mind that is continually giving you problems and anxieties. And that's what anxiety is. It's a workup of your brain and a hyper focus on your problems. No gratitude in sight there. So if you want to speed up the energy towards manifestation, you got to let go. First, you got to surrender. Okay. It is what it is. I know everybody hates that saying, but it is what it is. What's happened has happened. I can't complain about it anymore. I can't say it shouldn't have happened. I just have to accept. When you accept what happens, you open up the energy field. Boom, the energy field is now open to you. Then you get on a train of deciding that something good is going to come from this. That's gratitude. That's gratitude and faith mixed together. Something good is going to come from this. I can just feel it. I just know it. And then third, you start looking for the gifts before anything even transpires, before the solution comes, because that energy will align you with the solution. So I'm looking for the gifts. Where's the gift? Okay, what good can come of this? I love that question. What good can come from this? What do I want to happen? Put yourself in, what do I want to happen? What am I already thankful and grateful, right? For. That's putting yourself in the future of it already receiving it. So, oh yeah, I am so thankful and grateful this worked out this way. The signal that you send when you do that is so super powerful. It sends a rocket launch to your manifestation, because now you've gotten yourself out of all this dense, slow fighting energy, and you've literally jacked up this wave behind me. And now the wave can actually do what the wave does and just comes and flows and allows energy to start to transpire in the most beneficial way to you, because now you were focused on the benefits of what you would like to happen. It's magic, you guys. It's absolute magic. And if you can do this every day and keep yourself in a state of gratitude, I would say even 75% of the time, if you can keep yourself in a state of gratitude, your life will transform like you wouldn't believe. And what ends up happening is when you start to tip the scales and you're more grateful than not, the scale tips so far over, and all of a sudden it gets better and better and better and better. That's what they say. The better it gets, the better it gets, because you have a momentum towards really great things. And when you have a momentum towards really great things, that energy is really fast and beautiful and will just sweep you up into it. And you'll just be like, and then this, and then this, and then this. And then if something doesn't work out, that it's not a big deal, because you're in the momentum of great things. So you're like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. I'm good. I'm good. I got a lot going on for me. I got a lot going for me. So it's good. And that's the way to feel about, things that have transpired in the past that have gone on, that you may have some memories about it and you're like, oh, I just miss those times. Those times are not for nothing. Those times are fueling your future. You're thinking about how much you loved that. You can have that again. It's not over. The fact that we lived something and we know what something feels like, we can create it again very easily this time. The trouble is most people are in the past regretting it, wishing it was still there, wishing, sad that it's over. All of that stuff slows down the energy. But instead, if you could be like, oh, that happened, so it can happen again for me, that gives you a positive outlook on life. And that gives you that rampification. Oh, I just made up a word, I think. Ramps you up to a frequency that will allow you to feel more grateful, to have more things, more reasons to feel grateful. If you're not in a relationship right now and you're actually looking for a significant other, one of the best things that you can do is be grateful that that person is alive. Yeah, that person is possible for you. Because I see too many people, way too many people, that think that there's no good people left in the world, that they'll never find love because they're too old and no one that's old exists. I mean, it's crazy, right? So what is the energy that you're sending to that relationship now? Right? Are you sending the clarity? Every relationship that you have right now that didn't work out was clarity towards the one that you want to work out. So what signal are you sending to that? Are you already grateful? Did you make a list of what that's like? I'm thankful and so grateful that my partner is here I'm so grateful and so thankful that we are having such a blast in this life together. I'm so grateful and so thankful that I have this partnership that just gets better and deeper and stronger. And you can do that in your current relationship as well. If you're already in a relationship, you can appreciate that relationship right now. It's totally possible. That's the really cool thing about this whole, when you really think about gratitude, appreciation, and shifting your mind, it's totally available to everyone. Every single person walking on this planet has the ability to be grateful for something, no matter what. No matter what. You can be grateful for the air in your lungs. If you're alive, you have air in your lungs. You can be grateful for your eyes that can see, that can appreciate the beauty all around you. You can be grateful for your music that you get to hear, that you get to tune into. There's so many things that we all just take for granted because we forget. We forget how fantastic this life is. We forget how good things are for us. And because we forget, we stop remembering. We stop remembering how powerful we are. We stop remembering to appreciate. We stop remembering that life really does or can be celebrated. So it's just a shift. You're just a shift away, a little shift away. All right, so I'm going to do a little release and then we'll close out the show just to put you in the frequency. So we'll call this more of an intentional exercise more than a release, but I will release some things out, but for the most part, it will be intentional. All right, so just take a deep breath, breathing in, just breathe in all this beautiful air. And it does serve you when you breathe in to hold it for like 10 seconds and just squeeze your belly. Imagine your belly button is coming back all the way back to your spine, and then push that air up so it hits that third eye. And imagine that energy is being pushed up against your third eye. That will clear that out for you. And breathing out and breathing in and holding and breathing out, breathing in, holding, breathing out. When you hold the energy in, it actually clears the neural pathways. Breathing in and holding and squeezing and allowing yourself to be in this moment. So we invite in all of our divine counterparts, all of our non-physical loved ones, all of the energies of the divine and the universe and the angels and everything that surrounds us that is of a powerful, high vibrational state, allowing that energy to fill you up. I can already feel it coming in through the back of my head, all the way down into your root. So bring all this beautiful energy stream. Feel the frequency, feel your frequency raising in this moment, because you are putting yourself in this beautiful presence. And we just call on the divine to allow us to shift, allow us to release, breathe that out, anything that's in our way, any resistance, any victimhood, any resentment or unforgiveness or tendencies to be negative, critical, tendencies to listen to the shitty committee, self-critical energies, anything from the past. We just ask that fully releases so that we are given this beautiful, clear channel where we can create from now. We can create from the present moment. So we bring in the light of gratitude and appreciation. We bring in the light of intention and decision, a decision to walk this life in a beautiful way, in a way that allows us to see the beauty of our life, to appreciate what is good, and to be grateful for all those things, those little things. Allow us to wake up every day with thanksgiving, and allow us during this holiday season to feel peace, to feel love, to feel excitement, to feel compassion, to feel connection. In putting us in the most beautiful energy possible every single day when we close our eyes and decide that we can be filled up with this beautiful energy so that we no longer have to manipulate energy, because we have a stream of energy coming through us. We are connected to this stream of consciousness. And it allows us to feel empowered, strengthened, enlightened, embodied, strong, energized, and inspired in every moment. Breathe in the peace that is in this moment, this present moment, that allows you and calls to you in each moment to be more present, to allow gratitude to be your set point, to hear the sweet and beautiful songs that come across the airways that allow you to tune into higher frequencies, to share with your loved ones, to look into their eyes, to appreciate who they are, to love one another truly with no conditions, and to allow this moment to become more by deciding that your life is unfolding magically, beautifully, gratefully, and with great honor, so that you connect with the preciousness of life and you connect with the reasons you are here to enjoy life in a whole new way, to manifest your dreams, to allow the energy to go really fast towards what you are interested in, but not so fast that you feel overwhelmed, but fast enough so that you feel satisfied and trustful, trustworthy, and grateful. So grateful. Just take yourself into that moment of gratitude. Maybe go to that memory that makes you feel awe or excitement or successful, and allow yourself to energetically connect with this constant stream of well-being and love that is all around you, that is within you, and you always have access to. There you go. There it is. All right. So now we can have a super great holiday season with the people we are with, whoever we are with. Even if you're by yourself, you can have a truly wonderful experience by deciding that it's going to be wonderful, by deciding that you're going to make it everything it possibly can be, and sending that gratitude to your present, to your future, even to your past. If the past keeps coming up, start looking for the gifts in it. Start being grateful for what you've experienced and who you are today, because what you've walked through has made you who you are today, which is a worthy being, a strong and powerful being who came here to create. So I just have a couple more minutes, and I'm just going to share my books that are all on Amazon. I've got The Perfect Unfolding for the Expansion of Your Soul, super spiritual book about manifesting. I think you will love it. Quantum Speak for Parents. We talked a little bit about parenting today. This is, my 30 years of parenting 4 girls, and energetically doing it in a way that our family is at a really, really good place together. And Mindful Manifestations Daily Guide and Journal. This is a hardcover book. This is a great gift for somebody. It's so beautiful. And there's journaling pages and 100 pages of content about how to live your life daily in the most grateful space. And then I have Mindful Manifestation Secrets, which I guess I don't have a copy of up here, that is also available, and that is also on Audible. So thank you for joining me. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you, all of you that reach out to me and send me messages. It really does help to know that people are listening and out there and actually getting some sort of benefit from the show. I've got a lot of episodes out there, so you can listen and vibe and get into a higher frequency state by remembering the principles that I'm sharing. Sometimes it takes a constant remembering for us, a constant reminder that we have the ability to choose. And in that ability to choose, we can put ourselves in higher frequencies, higher states where appreciation and love becomes our set point. And then our life becomes pretty magical, and it unfolds in beautiful ways. And then we offer that light to other people. This isn't just for us. It's not just for you. It's not just for me, but we offer it to other people, and then we become uplifters, and the world literally becomes a better place by our own personal gratitude journey. So I love y'all. Thank you so much.